Welcome to the eSales Podcast, your ultimate guide to mastering the art of online selling. Whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, digital marketer, or sales professional, this podcast is the passport to dominating the digital marketplace. In this episode, we talk to Kasia, the confidence magician, and she talks about how selling is an act of serving, coming from a space of love, helping others, and extending invitation. She says that when we do selling right, it is easy, natural, and you just have to focus on helping the other person out. Now, if you love to show up, if you are committed to your personal growth and committed to boosting your online sales, this is the episode for you. My name's V, your eSales navigator. Join me as we dive into the latest strategies, tools, tactics to help you automate and conquer the world of online sales. Get ready to boost your online sales game and unlock your full potential. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the show. Today we have Kasia, the confidence magician, here on the show with us today. She helps female coaches over 40 release blocks and fears to easily attract her best clients. So welcome, Kasia. I'm really excited to have you on the show. We had a really good pre-show chat just the other day, and I'm really looking forward to hearing all your insights of how to actually get more clients online.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. I am so happy to be here. I'm so grateful for having me on the show because I am all about empowering all women, not just those over 40. It happens so that they are my primary clients, but all women to create more success, abundance, to make this world a better place. And in order to do that, we have to sell. There's no other way. In order to create our businesses, this is what it's all about. But there is just so much more to selling, and I look forward to the conversation.
Yeah, I completely agree. And there is so much to selling, more than just, getting the money in the bank, right? So tell us more about that. Tell us more about what selling means to you and how people can see another side, another perspective to selling.
So, as you say, selling, what most people think is that selling, they sort of put that pressure on themselves because for them, selling is pitching, is forcing themselves, is asking for money. And depending on where you come from and your stories, it can feel really, really, really uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. For me, and for anybody listening, selling can become something so exciting, such a happy thing to do, easy thing to do. And this is when we change how we perceive selling in its wholeness. So for me, selling is serving. For me, selling is the act of love toward my ideal client. So when I think about selling, I think about extending the invitation when I assume, when I figure out that this is the right client, of course, because so many times, and especially in the beginning of stages of their journey, we really need that sale. We need that money because when we're going from our 9 to 5, or when we quit our 9 to 5, and there is so much more baggage also because so many times families saying, "Are you crazy? Are you quitting your job to do what? To do coaching? To do this?" And I know this from my own experience. And so we really need to prove that we can do this. And the baggage of this and the weight of all that is just so heavy, and we need to make it. So we agree in the beginning stages of our business to working with clients who are not necessarily those ideal ones, who are not necessarily but we need to get going. We need to pay our bills and so on. But I'm talking about finding a way to sell to that feels easy, that feels natural, that is your way of extending invitation to work with you and to make their life better, whatever it is that you do, through working with you, through investing in themselves, not in you, they're investing in themselves, but you are that vehicle to bring them from where they are right now to where they want to be. You have the tools, you have the support, you have the ways in which you can help them. And given that this is your ideal client, ideal potential client, selling should be just easy. But yeah, it takes more than just deciding that I want to make it easy, because there are many, many components that go into being able to do that. And that's is also what I help with by essentially reframing everything, all the stories that you carry around business, around money, around success. Also, the stories of worthiness, stories of what is a lot of money, what is a little money, what is too much, what is not enough. And when those puzzles come into place, all of a sudden, selling is just like, wow, hello. It's, of course, it's natural. And funny enough, people, we get sold to all day, every day, right? And when the selling is done right, we never think of those companies that sell to us left and right as salesy. We never think of them as pushy. Would you ever think that Apple is pushy? They're forcing the new iPhones on us every freaking what? 8 months? Assholes. Would you ever think that? No, right? But so many times we get sold left and right. And yes, there are some practices that we don't like cold pitching. You being pitched to, pitched by people, like several times a day, right? I get, definitely. Just on my Instagram, every day I wake up to new messages, people trying I've never heard of, trying to sell me stuff I never asked for. And I get it how in the beginning stages of the business, before selling becomes natural to you, you add those unhelpful, like the idea of this unhelpful, pushy, salesy way of selling to your idea what selling is, how it feels, and it strengthens your unhelpful beliefs. So you think because when you're being sold to in an unhelpful way, you start to, or this not feeling good way, you start to translate those stories into, oh, maybe I sound like this. What if I come across like this? What if this is how people perceive me when I finally talk about my offer? I don't want to do this. And this is so many times stopping freaking amazing women and men too from selling incredible things, courses, products, support online, something they could do. And I do believe that this is like, when you have something of value to offer to other people, it is your freaking duty to sell it.
Yeah.
You're doing a world disservice by not selling it. You're doing those people who are there waiting for you to get out of your comfort zone, excuse me, and start selling to them so that they can finally release whatever it is they are working on, improve their marriages, improve their bodies, improve their financial situation, improve their social media, whatever it is that you're doing, improve their homes. They're there waiting, and you're here talking yourself out of selling because other people are doing it in a shitty way many times.
Right? Yes, 100%. And I really love that you kind of really harnessing the message of selling is serving. Selling is by coming from a space of love, giving, helping, solving problems. And so I think there's a little bit of a shift there, a bit of a change in perspective when people say that. And you're right, it does come back down to previous experiences when the pushy, sleazy salesperson just pushes something onto someone, and it's just not required, not invited, and not really in a space of giving and love and helping someone solve a problem. So tell us more about how we actually tap into the space of solving problems, because it's not always easy, especially when, I know for me, sometimes when I first started selling, I was just stuck in my head around like script number 1, 2, 3. I've got to go through this, and I've got to go through the pain, and then I've got to pitch my price, and then so I kind of get lost, right, in the world of solving problems. So tell us how we can kind of get out of our heads and into our hearts when it comes to selling.
I love that you just said it, because this is what I say all the time: drop from your head to your heart, right? So first of all, you really want to know why you're doing this. What's the purpose of this? And there are different types of purposes, because you have that purpose that relates to yourself and your life. I mean, you want to make your life better. You want to work from wherever you want, however you want. You want to have the freedom of how you work, and you just want to have a life that feels like expanding all the time, right? You want this probably also for, if you have children, you want this for your children, you want this for your loved ones. Maybe you want to I don't know, maybe you want to retire your husband or wife or partner, whatever it is. That is also your why. But there is also your why in terms of those clients. Like, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to help them with this? Right? What is it going to mean? How their lives are going to change? You start with one person. If I can help this person change this thing that they're struggling with, and they cannot figure out how, if I can really help them do this. And again, we're circling back to that ideal client, okay? Not just anybody, but if this is my ideal client, so a person that shows up, that does the work, that is really like, is in this place where it says, okay, I'm really done. I'm ready to change this. I'm ready to shift. Okay, and then you come and everything changes for them. Why is it important for you? What is it going to mean for them, for their life? What is it going to mean for their children? What is it going to mean for their loved ones? What's going to happen when you're going to help not one person, but 10 people? What if not 10 people? What if 100 people? What's going to be the ripple effect of that? And this is something, when I work with my clients, we get back to every single time, because when you can really, truly, and very deeply on a visceral level, tap into that why you want to do this, and come back from that place, then selling is just like, oh my gosh, like, of course, I want to sell this. I want to help them make the best decision for them. And that is, again, they're their ideal client. Some things with my voice today. They are my ideal client, and I'm the ideal person for them. And for that, of course, you have to be in love with your offer. You have to feel worthy of accepting that money, of receiving the money. There's so much that goes into this. I mean, you teach this, I teach this. It takes an entire program. It takes, several months to work on this, but it can really be done in a short amount of time to change the perception of success, money, business, selling in your head, so that you can show up on that. I don't like calling them sales calls, but when we say a sales call, everybody knows what we refer to, right? Feeling like I'm here to help you, the person on the other side. I call them help-seeking humans. Make the best decision for you. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you are my help-seeking human, for me, that would be, a coach who wants to attract more clients in a way that feels light, in a way that feels easy, who want to build that presence online that is magnetizing, who is ready to start showing up unapologetically and shine their light fully and turn up the light. Stop hiding. Stop judging you. Stop feeling, being afraid of judgment, and just show up fully as you are, owning your message, owning your story. So if I have that person on the other side, and I'm fully tapped into my why, because I know what is going to happen if I can help 10, 100,000, 10,000 of those women, we're going to freaking make this world a better place. I mean, so how can I serve you? Showing on a sales call from a place, how can I serve you? And yes, in the beginning, you are stressed. You are thinking, oh, what's the right plan to do that? Like, what is the sequence? But this comes with practice, right? There are some rules, general rules, that first of all, you're there not to sell, you're there to listen, you're there to figure out if at all they are in the right place to start working with you, if at all you can help them. And this is essentially to make them understand where they are, what is possible for them, And what's going to be the cost of not doing this now? And just have trust in your ideal help-seeking human, that they know how to make the best decision for themselves when you lay it out for them. And detach from the outcome. Detach, like, people can sense it. We can sense it when people are really desperate on making a sale or making a close. And by the way, I'm going to share with all of you listeners, I call it aligned sales calls plan. And that really starts with reframing the language, right? When we make something a sales call, we feel automatically obliged to sell on it. What if it's not a sales call? What can be a different way to call it, to name it, to phrase it? What if it's not pitching? Nobody loves being, sold to in an aggressive way. So what if it's not pitching? What if it is extending invitation? There are many subtle changes just of our language that we can start implementing already today to start feeling better about what it really is to sell, what it really is to close, what it really is to enroll a client. When we do that, that really becomes, you go from fearing your sales calls or feeling uncomfortable. I hear it many times. Kasia, I love working with my clients. If I could just get someone to sell for me, right? And at some point, probably, hopefully, you will have, on your team, a person who helps you takes your sales calls from you. But I am a big advocate of you learning how to sell first yourself so that you can do it any time and place, because this is freaking easy and fun. Right?
Yes.
And when you do that, but at some point you just have more clients, and you have to choose where you want to put your time and what you want to do with your time. Or maybe you just want to take some time off. Then you can have someone on your team. But first, you really want to understand that this is amazing, that we live like, you're in Australia, I'm in Europe. We're talking about this, making the world a better place through learning how to sell. And anybody can do it. Yeah. And entering a conversation with this energy is life-changing for you and for them. You can be a person that really changes for them what it means to be sold to. Many times they come to those calls a little bit afraid. What they could, like, you coming afraid, probably, maybe to some extent, but in that feeling, you just forget that they have no clue what to expect. They don't, many times. But when they feel that you're not focused on getting their card number, but you're focused on helping them, and you're ready to go from this call without, this is my theory. Yes, it is, from a practical standpoint, from a business standpoint, it is the best case scenario when you can get them to, make a decision on the call. Yes, it is. But there is so much power in you allowing them to see and understand that this is not your ultimate goal for this conversation. That would be an amazing outcome for them if they can make that decision to invest in themselves, being the perfect client. But either way, it's good. Either way, you're good. Either way, you just allowed them to understand something that they maybe didn't understand. Maybe they're going to come back to you in a week, in a month, maybe in 12 hours. So I know that it is a process. For me, it has taken me, several months to get there. For some people, it takes a long time. But right now, I know that we can do it much, much faster. Having the right tools and focusing first and foremost on reprogramming the beliefs we have around selling, money, success, worthiness, and everything that ties to that.
Yeah. Yeah, there is so much there that's just been said around sales and how we can change the world and make it a better place and selling fun. So I really want to tap into one of those beliefs that you were just talking about and kind of understanding maybe an example, for example, money, worthiness, like not good enough. Any of those that you were just mentioning. Your favorite one, pick your favorite one and
Oh my gosh.
dive into the whys, dive into the hows and what usually triggers those beliefs. And obviously for the clients or the people who are listening at the moment, maybe a tip to kind of get themselves out of that belief, right? So they can kind of understand there's another side to it all.
Um, I it would be it's impossible for me to say what's my favorite limiting belief. But what I can tell you is that everybody who has worked with me, even for the shortest amount of time, people know that I say whenever you uncover a limiting belief, it's not because many times people say, oh, how can I even believe that? I mean, this is so unproductive, this is not helpful, and they're beating themselves up around like for that belief. And I say, you want to pop up a bottle of champagne because now you finally know what's making you sabotage yourself, what's making you hide, what's making you play small, what's making you devalue your services. Like when you have a belief in plain sight, now you finally can do something about it. And there are two ways in which you can work with a limiting belief. First thing, of course, it's the conscious way. Okay. So all coaches, more or less, should have at least, regardless, like when you work with mindset, should have a proven process to help their clients to dismantle limiting beliefs on the conscious side, on the conscious side, right? In a conscious way. And I have it too. So working with a belief in a way that to allow your conscious mind, your thinking brain, to realize that this is nothing else but just a story that is not true, is very highly subjective, totally based on how you were raised, what you've experienced since you were born and afterwards. And you are further perpetuating it, making it more real for looking for evidence, but it's not true. When we talk about limiting beliefs in general, if I was to ask you or if someone was to ask me, like if I'm a good coach, if I am good at selling, if I'm smart, if I'm funny, I mean, I can have my meaning about it, but it's not like none of this is true. It's just my subjective idea of me, right? But the fact about me is how tall I am, where I was born, right? What when I don't know, when I got my credentials, these are the facts, right? And when you really can distance yourself and and you can understand that it's not about being wrong or right and having ego on the right side, but it's really about assessing, I can believe anything. If I can believe anything I want, what do I want to believe? There are essentially no shitty beliefs. There are no bad beliefs. And for your brain, definitely. For your brain, it's an equally great belief to believe that you suck at selling as it is that you great at selling. For your brain, it doesn't make it. It's it's not a difference. Nor it is for your subconscious mind. It's not judgmental, but it's going to give you proof for the beliefs that you hold, so that you keep on believing them. So on the conscious side, you want to get your conscious mind on board and really understand that this is nothing but a belief, and that you can shift that belief if it's not helping you, and that you can start working from a belief that is far more empowering. That is tricky though, because we are creatures of habit, right? And our habitual thinking comes from underneath the surface. So it's subconscious. And 90 to 95% of everything that you think and based of what you think you do is completely subconsciously driven. So consciously, you might think, listen to this podcast and say, like, this makes sense. I really want to start selling from that place of service, love, possibility. But then you stop the podcast, and then you have a call on the schedule. And even though what I said made a lot of sense, you cannot make yourself do that because there is so much underneath the surface. And for this, subconscious work is the best thing to do. There are many ways in which you can change your subconscious belief on the different ways. And what I am a huge proponent of is subconscious reprogramming using hypnotherapy, and but also guided visualizations, guided meditations, EFT, which is a form of energy work. EFT, tap, also known as tapping, is combining a little bit of both worlds in a way, and shifting that energy, shifting those underlying beliefs, shifting the approach that you have towards selling. Because essentially your biggest goal always should be not selling better, but becoming the person that sells with joy. There is such a great difference between these things. It's not about what you do. It's about becoming the person that does everything that needs to be done in a way that supports your growth. Again, for your brain, it doesn't matter what belief you hold. It's going to be, your subconscious mind is going to be supporting you in whatever you believe.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
if you, yeah.
Yes, go.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, 100%.
No.
I'm loving this because there's like so much to it. And I'm also conscious that the listeners are also at different levels or stages of the journey, right? Not that it's a competition, stage one, stage two, stage three. It's more like some people are more aware of the subconscious and the mindset shifts and the energy, and some people just don't have that understanding or haven't tapped into it yet, right? So when you're talking about ETFs and you're talking about energy shifts and subconscious minds and stuff like that, could you provide an example as to when someone might be able to identify when things are a bit uncomfortable for them?
How exactly do you mean?
So what I'm saying is, like, for example, you just had a perfect example around the sales call. You listen to this podcast, it makes sense. I totally get it from the mind, but then you have a call that's coming up on the calendar, and then all of a sudden your body's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I can't get on the call. And then you go back into the
Let's reschedule.
Yeah, let's reschedule. Yeah, that's right. So in that moment, Kasia, in that moment, what do you say or suggest that people do?
What I would do in that moment is get back to your why. This is why I say I get back to it with my clients, like, consistently, because it's not something we are taught to do. We are taught to do things, to dive into action. And if do it, like, scared or not, do it, like, do it, feel the fear and do it anyway. I'm a big proponent. Well, again, I mean, my program is 12 weeks, so it's difficult to put everything that I decided to include in order to help people with that just in a podcast episode. But what I would do in that situation, I would really take a step back, quiet my mind, and sit with, why have I decided to go into this business? What's my driving force? What's going to be the ripple effect of that on my life, my loved one's life, and my clients, and the world? when everything is going to work out just great? What's going to be the expansion of that? And come from that place and understand that many times the confidence is not just yet because you just haven't done enough calls. Embracing the process. I think I often give this example of a baby that learns to walk. You want to be that toddler that is around 10, 11, 12, 14 months and learns to walk. You are in the beginning stage. So when you start making those calls and start selling, start coaching, things are not going to be perfect. But do you know a toddler who falls down on their rear part and says, I'm just so fucking stupid. I'll never learn this. I'll never do this. They fall, and then they get up, and then they take another step, and maybe two more, and then they take four, and then they take six. And they look at other people who are walking around them, other humans. If they can walk, I can walk as well. They have no doubts. And this is the approach you want to have. Like, I have no doubts. People are doing it left and right. I'm not doing it yet because I haven't done it enough times. But guess what? I have figured out so many things in my life that, heck, I can figure that thing too. I'm just going to show up from a place of service, from a place I know why I do this. I'm so passionate about this because I want people just to show up as their best selves and freaking serve. When you come from a place of service, there is no way in the universe that you're not going to get paid for that in this way or the other. You're going to get the learning, you're going to get the money, you're going to get, like, everything is going to fall in line for you if you just show up. So be that toddler. Rise, get up. I have a client who had 34. She's heard no 34 times. So she's been on sales call 34 times and heard no before she heard yes.
34 times. You're joking. 34 times.
Yes. No, I'm not joking. I love her. I love her. Like, you want to be, but when you think about you learning how to walk, you learning how to eat with a spoon and then with a knife and fork, and then you learning how to ride a bike and how to swim, and like, come on, right?
Mm.
And to everybody listening, please, and because you hear it so many times that success is 80% mindset and 20% of what you actually do, and systems and strategies, and we hear it and then we think, oh yeah, right, but what do I do? Give me the steps. Please remember, you're still the person doing the doing. You see this in your program, in your coaching, I see this in my coaching, that, depending on, like, what you give, the tools you give, they do provide the incredible shifts, or help people create incredible shifts. But it's still, they have to show up. They have to do the work. They have to be committed to changing. They have to be committed to a little bit of that growth, pain, discomfort in order to come to the other side, right? You are the person doing the doing. And I can give the same system to one person and then to another person and have two completely different results. It's not about systems. I know I have clients who have almost no systems in place and they're doing amazingly. And I have clients who have everything, who come to me and they say, Kasia, I don't get it. I have an amazing product, amazing program. I show up every day, I think. Like, I have the capacity to serve, I don't know, 20 people. And I'm just hardly having any clients. I'm always wondering where my next client's gonna come from. Like, but I have everything in place. But it's not about what you have in place. It's about the energy that you carry. It's about the beliefs that you step into the business with. That's it. Yes, systems are important. They are. Yes, absolutely. And you want to have the great performing funnel. But you can become hugely successful with a very simple funnel and very unhappy and unsuccessful and struggling with, top-notch funnel and just not getting there. And it's all here.
That's so true. You're so right. I love how you said that. I love because like a lot of metrics are measured by the number of followers that you have, the coolest number of automations and everything like that. And don't get me wrong, we do teach and do done for you funnels and websites for our program, but at the same time, that's just the entry level stuff. It's just the icing, right? The energy, the foundation is why, who you are, who you're serving, what your purpose is, what your mission is, your vision, and the energy where it all comes from, right? So I completely agree with that. And I think for those of you listening, it's really easy to get bogged down in the systems and get confused with the tech or what the perfect product is. And I think like the lady your client who rocked up 34 times without saying no, she just turned up, right? And I think sales, as they know, is a numbers game. As you know, Kasia, the more people you talk to, the more you get to fine tune your showing up rate, and the more you learn, and then there'll be a yes, and then you'll repeat it again, and then you'll hit another block, and then you'll overcome it again, and it's a numbers game.
Well, now
Again.
she's closing, 3 of 5, right, for the high ticket, and now it's a no-brainer. And before it was a much lower ticket, and yes, it's a process, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's, but there is a difference. You see, 82%. The International Coach Association says that 82% of new coaches quit within the first 2 years of business. And that pains me. That really hurts me. It's my bigger why, okay? To shift that. So many incredible, gifted, talented, heart-led humans are giving up on their dream of helping other humans because they see that success. Because this is one thing, like also you open social media and everybody is throwing like, oh, I have this launch and I'm making multiple this figures and that figures. And then you think like, oh, that's amazing. I want to do that too. But hey, you starting here, they're there. Like people are not talking about that, not enough about what it really takes, what it has taken them to be here, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And it doesn't have to take a long time. It doesn't. It can take short time. This is exactly what I'm talking. If you know how to approach it from your mindset first, before anything else, then you're going to skyrocket. And the proof for that is that there are people who are doing what you do in your niche for a shorter amount of time. They don't have as many credentials. They don't have as much experience, and they're killing it while you're wondering where your next client is going to come from.
100%.
But hey, right?
100%.
So it's possible. But so many amazing people who don't know what we're talking about, or who just don't trust it. They're being sold to left and right. Like, if you have this system, if you have this process, if you have my blueprint, and this is the only way to do this. And it's great, amazing that we can get help this way. But it's not working right away because their energy is out of whack. Their stories are shit. Their money beliefs are just complete bullshit. It's not supportive in any way. The worthiness issues. And then there's this family saying like, are you kidding me? How long are you going to play this game? Like, can't you just get back to your normal job? Like, what was wrong with that? Can't you be more like responsible? Oh, right. So, and then they think, oh, maybe they're right. That's not for me. I'm not cut out for it.
100%.
If you are listening to this, and you have ever thought, oh, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe that was just too optimistic. Listen, you are perfectly cut out for this. If you can walk, you can do this. I mean it. And if you cannot walk because of anything, but you can, like, you get what I mean, right? If you can get this on board and get the beliefs that are supporting your growth to be so engraved in you that you wake up every day, rain or shine, and you just work from that place, everything is gonna align. Everything is gonna work out. Just work on your head first.
Yeah. That's incredible. Work on your head first and everything will align. And it's so true. I think that's a perfect kind of segue to kind of close off on your tip, Kasia, for the audience. I wish we had more time to go through this. I think I can spend hours just going through this, talking about it and helping more people out. But how can people find you? Where can they connect with you?
The easiest way to connect with me is through Instagram, just The Confidence Magician, and I'm right there. And I'm there. I'm there. I mean, my team is there as well, letting me know if anything is very urgent, but I'm there and I'm happy. I'm connecting with beautiful women from all over the world daily. I would love to hear from you. If you've listened to this episode, come say hi, send me a DM, maybe say that you've listened to this episode, and if it spoke to you, I'd love to hear. Send me your questions, like anything you would love to know, anything that really spoke to you, or something you maybe would love to hear more of, because I'm always looking for ways to not improve, but to get the content that really people really need right now. And you know it yourself. We can talk about so many things, but what do you want to hear about? Where do you want to go deeper? What's important for you right now? I'd love to speak about that. So The Confidence Magician on the Instagram.
Great. I will definitely have that on the link in the description. So please have a chat with Kasia. Check her out, follow her on Instagram, join her program, and let's build a better world when it comes to sales and just like in general. So thank you so much, Kasia. I've really enjoyed having you part of the show. Thank you so much again. So grateful to have your energy and presence here. I can see that everyone on the show listening can feel the magnetic radiance that you actually gave when you're speaking about it. So I hope everyone gains so much from the show. Thank you so much. And I hope to do this again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for allowing me to support your listeners. Let's make this world a better place. Definitely. Let's do that.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you listening into the show today. And if you did like our content, please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast or this YouTube series, so that way we can keep giving you more content and sharing you more knowledge around how to scale your sales online. And if you are wanting to boost your sales online, please sign up to our e-sales school, where you will learn to automate and navigate your way around in this digital marketplace. Thank you so much once again. I really appreciate you joining in today. And remember to keep selling, keep having fun, and keep being you.